Now it is time finally for Robin's interview Sir Elton John ahead of the new documentary Elton John Never Too Late. He went to his home.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago, and when you say Elton's name, you think of an image of, the big glasses, the rhinestones, and that famous piano, even more the famous voice. After 50 years, the pillar of pop music is trading life on the road for life at home with his family. We spoke about his extraordinary career filled with crescendos of joy, heartbreaking lows, and how, although he stepped off the stage, he's still looking forward to what's next.
It's a little bit funny.
This morning, music icon Elton John welcoming GMA inside his Windsor home right outside of London as he chronicles his life and legacy after closing the curtain on touring. The documentary is beautiful. The way it bookends your career and just your rise to stardom, coming out, overcoming addiction. Any part of your journey that captivates you still?
I've forgotten about the early stuff so much, and then I saw the footage of the first 5 years and the records that we made. I was really proud of what we'd done. I was saying, God, we did a lot of incredible work in 5 years. 13 albums, come on. The records were amazing. And I tend to forget that because I don't listen to my past anyway.
You don't listen to your own music? Did I hear that correctly?
If I made a new album, I might listen to it to see if I still like it. But no, I don't. I'm very proud of what I've done, but I'm always thinking forward to the next thing.
Never Too Late features never-before-seen footage from the Rocket Man's 5-decade-long career.
Rocket Man, burning out his fingers off hair alone.
And reveals intimate details about his tumultuous beginnings. People have been familiar, but not to that degree, about your father hating rock and roll and how you really wanted to prove him wrong.
Well, it was a different era, Robin. It was the 50s. When rock and roll came in, it was like, wow, I couldn't believe it. And my mother was on my side. She was very encouraging. She wanted me to be a musician, but there was a side of her that could be incredibly abusive, and I was frightened of her. And that never changed. But it was difficult because they argued a lot. And so all the arguments tended to be about me. I was fearful all my childhood. I'm being beaten in the street and stuff like that. I wanted to leave my childhood behind, and that caught up with me. When I realized I put everything into my work and there was nothing underneath it. I was just a void.
You said early in your career, you described that time as an emptiness within. How did you find the healing to get out of that loneliness?
I was so fed up with being unhappy, and so fed up with being an addict, and so fed up with going to bed at 9 o'clock in the morning, if I ever did. It took me so long, Robin, to say, I need help. And I thought, I know I'm an addict. I know I can get it. I can do this myself. But obviously I couldn't. And so when I did ask for help, the whole world changed.
Reflecting on what he's overcome on his rise to fame, Elton remembers the bonds he formed along the way, like with Beatles lead man John Lennon.
We had such a great time together for a couple of years. We hung out, we made music. I just had a wonderful friendship with him. I remember cycling to my local record store to buy Sgt. Pepper, and it had a gatefold sleeve. And here I am singing with him at Madison Square Garden. You can't make it up.
You talked about being on stage, and it was electrifying.
Yes.
For you. How has that impacted you creatively and in other ways that you don't have that time on the stage anymore?
It's wonderful. I mean, when I finished my tour in Stockholm 2 years ago, I was very excited. I was very happy. I wanted to end by playing and singing as well as I ever had, if not better. And I honestly don't miss going on tour. I'm 77, and I've done over 4,500 shows. I've gone how many flights? I have 2 young boys that need me. I have David, that's my husband, that needs me. I love spending time with my boys, and I love being here at this house. And I understand why people find it hard to stop, but I didn't find it hard at all.
Joining from their home, Elton's husband David, who co-directed the film.
What I find so inspiring about Elton's life story is the fact that you can surf through so much adversity and setbacks.
The documentary is spectacular. You co-directed it with R.J. Cutler.
Yes.
So what was that experience like for you, David?
I was really lucky. RJ is such a great documentarian. I also knew that I could bring a very unique insight into the true Elton and our family.
Their two sons, Zachary and Elijah, on stage at Elton's final U.S. show at Dodger Stadium in 2022, an ode to where his career skyrocketed nearly 50 years ago.
This hangs in our kitchen, and that's that beautiful moment on stage at Dodgers when Elton wanted the world to really see and feel why he made the big decision to stop touring.
Do they know what a big deal their dad is?
They do and they don't. I think one of the things that Elton's always done, he does a show, he comes home, he doesn't talk a lot about what he does, he doesn't play his music all the time in the house. He's daddy.
Elton's holding closer to fond memories touring the world.
This is the latter time of my life. I don't know how much time I have left. And you think about that more when you get to my age.
While looking forward to what's next, despite recent health challenges.
I unfortunately lost my eyesight in my right eye in July because I had an infection in the south of France. And it's been 4 months now since I haven't been able to see. And my left eye is not the greatest. So there's hope and encouragement that it will be okay. We're taking an initiative to try and get it better. But at the moment, that's really what we're concentrating on.
People have been concerned about your health challenges. So can you just expound more on your journey?
David and I always have our blood tests every 6 months in Los Angeles. Our health has never been better, and it's never fortunate for anything like this to happen. And I can't see anything, I can't read anything, I can't watch anything.
I'm still standing after all this time.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. And the last question, the legacy question, Elton John. What do you want your legacy to be?
My music speaks for itself. My legacy was I was a great husband and an even better father, and I think he would agree with that.
I will second that.
Beautiful.
The music, the career is fantastic. It's been mind-blowing, groundbreaking. But the most important thing to me in my life is making sure my children are happy, they have a wonderful life, and that I was good to them. That's all that counts.
And the music hasn't stopped for Elton. He has a new song out with Brandi Carlile. It's called Never Too Late. Elton wasn't always Elton John. Did you know he was actually Reginald Dwight? That was his name originally, and he changed it to escape a painful part of his childhood, giving his two adorable boys, Zachary and Elijah, a different experience growing up than he had. And he has been paramount in his parenting with his husband, David. That's is so what clear. Is most, it is very, very clear. Because in the impact, he really goes into detail about his mom and dad. He had a really, really
tough,
very difficult time. But he is focused on the future. And I was really surprised when he said, because I know when we talk to people after they've been doing what they've done for so long and touring, he really does not miss being on the road.
Is that what stood out most to you? What stood out most to you?
That's what stood out, that he is really, as much as he's traveled the world and has had such an impact, he's a homebody. He loves his boys, loves his husband, and just wants to be at home. And you can stream Never Too Late. It's on Disney Plus this Friday, and see more of my conversation streaming tomorrow on Impact by Nightline. And I mean, he really
it's fascinating conversation.
Thank you, George.